I try to stop smoking. I think what it is, I've talked about this before, the greatest sin is to not be a saint. So I was thinking, what could I be saint of? I mean, we have patron saint of dogs and a patron saint of prayer. If we don't, we should probably have one. Anyway, I thought maybe I could be the patron saint of smokers. I can see my statue now in the church. Me looking up to heaven, my hand extended high. But I think I probably should have a pipe. That would be more saintly than a cigarette. That's neither here nor there, and it wasn't in the plan for the video, but I got so whipped up to do a video that I forgot that I was smoking. So here I am smoking. And so far nothing bad has happened. The guardian angel hasn't pounded on the door with a flaming sword of truth and waved it around, nor has any lightning struck anywhere in the neighborhood. It's the little things. I just kind of was thinking about this today. My career in broadcasting was inspired when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I told the story a number of times. Now, you have to imagine Demet, a small child, standing on the sidewalk outside of a pastrami shop. Oh, did they have good pastrami? I have never found a pastrami sandwich like that one in Southgate, California. But that's neither here nor there. What happened, and this sounds so silly, was a Pontiac, one of those big Pontiacs, came and made a right turn right in front of me. And inside there was a man who was smoking a pipe. He had the pipe in his mouth like that. And as the car went past, I saw on the back a sticker that said, "Another KLAC disc jockey." And I said, he's a human being. He drives a car. He smokes a pipe. You know, these people aren't different than me, except I'm so little now. I'm telling you, believe it or not, that image that this could be done, that I could become a broadcaster, stemmed from that one thing. Now I'm going to tell you a story. Casey, who is my caretaker, makes sure that I don't wander outside looking for the coffee pot in the morning. Make sure that I haven't put my Post Toasty in the refrigerator instead of the microwave. Kind of keeps me on the path of functioning, which I apparently couldn't do if I were on my own. Casey has garage sales from time to time. This is partly to help defray my medical costs, which are beyond the understanding of the normal mortal human being, and it also helps me to eat. So we are having a garage sale, and Casey, because he thought it was going to rain on the weekend, decides we will have it on a Wednesday and a Thursday. We live in a good garage sale neighborhood. I mean, a lot of traffic going and coming in front of the house. And so we have this sale on a Wednesday, and there are a lot of people looking at this, because Casey isn't sure how to price things. His philosophy is, you know, I got it for free, and if I sell it for a nickel, that's a nickel of money we have. So it's mark a price on it and sell it. Now, some of these things are rare antiques, because I look them up and find out. In this last garage sale, Casey had Norman Rockwell collector plates with the documentation. He had 40 of them. And the price, remarkably good, $5 each. So I'm there, and of course there is a miracle going on, because in our neighborhood, but this particular day, there's like 30 people in the yard, all looking at things like the Norman Rockwell plates and thinking, boy, that's a good buy, maybe. So I'm sitting there at the cash table because I can't move around. So he thinks I can still, and I'm not a good cash taker, because he's caught me saying to the person, that'll be $10. And the person goes for his wallet, and I go for the cash drawer, and I give him $10. So have a good day. So I'm not a good person to be running the cash table. But anyway, enough said about that. A strange car parks out in front. I didn't see it, but people told me it was a strange car. And out of the car comes a man, and he walks through the crowd of people, past the Norman Rockwell plates, comes right to the cash table where I am, and he says, "Is there a Catholic here?" So I had to think, why is he asking that question? I pondered this, and I said, yes. After teaching for so many years in the Catholic Church, and so many years in education about the Catholic Church, I said, yes. I said, do you know what this is? And I held it up. He wasn't sure. It's the cross that Franciscans wear, one of a number of type crosses. So anyway, we started to talk. Now, there's a crowd of people waiting to buy the Norman Rockwell plates, and they're kind of lined up. And he says, "Have you heard of Mary?" Well, this set me off. I had to tell my infamously famous story about the rosary that turned gold in my hands. And he said, hold on. So now he and all the people standing there watching are beginning to form an audience. I'm not unfamiliar to audiences, and I knew that's what was happening. And he comes back with a rosary. It's made of ropes and little tiny beads so close together that you have to say 5 Hail Marys at a time when you try to use it. And he gave it to me. And I said, okay. Then he said, wait a minute, I'm going back to the car. So he goes back to the car again. He brings me a folder about the rosary. And he brings me a scapular, which I'm wearing here, along with my... It's here, whether you can see it or not, but it's tangled up. Oh, there it is. It's tangled up with my... I have fallen and I can't get up thing. So, anyway, I took the card that he gave me about how to say the rosary, and I had to tell him my story of the rosary that turned gold as I was praying. I thought this would impress him. Well, then he started to talk, and after the rosary story, there's a big crowd now gathered around the table, people wanting to pay for their plates, people that are just agog, and they're signaling me, get him out of here. And he proceeds to talk to me about Mary. Mary, Mary, Mary. Rosary 3 times a day. And 3 is an important number to you, isn't it? I said, yeah, it kind of is. That's because I raised 3 boys. And I probably messed up on some of them, and others I didn't as I grew older and more mature. Anyway, now everyone's heard the stories. I have a scapular, I have a rosary, and a card. And finally, the man leaves. Now, he was some kind of a missionary, but I should point out he was wearing a rosary around his neck. The rosary is not to be used as jewelry. This, to me, was a signal that there's something not right here the minute I saw him. However, strange as it would be, it is the little things. Somehow, the strange man who stopped told me things about the fact that I had 3 children. He knew things about me that nobody should know. It was very strange, and then he left and was gone. But it renewed my faith, which had grown somewhat weak. Point of the video: we never know what little things we do when we meet somebody can infect their entire lives. If you will excuse me.